Hello again, Poké fans. I am Blunty. Are you ready for a little bit of I told you so theatre this morning? Because that's what you're getting. I told you so. Now, in a recent video about Pokemon GO, not one of my Let's Play things, but, about the launch of the game itself and how the servers were having trouble, and, I blamed pirates for it. Not really seriously about it. The number of people who took that video, very, very, very seriously and got really pissy at me for various reasons is kind of hilarious. I was obviously chortling throughout the entire video. And there was a bit in the video about 3 minutes-ish in where I baited the Android fanboys a bit by suggesting that the iOS app ecosystem was superior because piracy is more difficult there and it's super easy to sideload crap on Android, and that leads to a lot of piracy and malware and all that kind of stuff. And this was borne out by the fact that I deleted countless, I wish I'd counted, dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people trying to link other people in the comments section to places to download the APK. Pirate it, basically. And then I had a whole bunch of people saying, well, you can't pirate a free game. Well, actually, yes, you can. The definition of piracy has nothing to do with monetary value. It's just you copying software that you don't have permission to copy. And that still counts, even if it's a free app. If you're not supposed to have it, like in a location in the world where it's not launched yet and they haven't officially put it on the App Store or anything like that, then if you go somewhere else and take a copy of it that some third party has put up somewhere, that's still piracy, guys. Anyway, but whatever your political stance on side-loading APKs are, I was deleting any links or suggestions to go to a certain place to get an APK to sideload for one simple reason. Not because I was taking some sort of stand for the developer, because frankly Niantic's launch has been a freaking disaster up until this point. I have no particular love for them, but I was trying to protect people from malware, and guess what? I was right, because in that other video I also made the suggestion that if you download an APK from some third party somewheresville, your likelihood of getting a virus packed with it has massively increased as well. This is non-official channels. You don't know whether you're getting malware packaged along with it. You don't know whether you're getting the official one, and there's all kinds of issues that go along there. Malware is huge in that sideloading APK things. That's why Apple doesn't let you do it for a start. That's why they have their little walled garden to protect you against stuff like this. But Android, open, hooray! You're also open to massive amounts of malware. And that happened. A report came out last night I was reading, and let me read you an excerpt from it here. The security firm Proofpoint discovered a malicious application, or APK, which was infected with DroidJack, a remote access tool, RAT, that compromises Android devices by silently opening a backdoor for hackers. To install it, a user needs to sideload a malicious app by disabling the Android security setting that normally prevents the installation of unverified third-party apps from unknown sources. That would be exactly what all these Pokemon GO pirates were doing. So the combination of a slow global rollout, server problems, and super huge demand for this very popular game led to, the obvious step of people whose mission it is to shove malware out there to get infected Android devices to use for their own malicious purposes, whether it be use them in a botnet or steal your personal information and then sell it, or whatever the purpose is of opening the backdoor in your Android device. Of course this was going to happen, and that's why I said don't do it! But countless people did, because countless people are stupid! And I just wanted to make a video, one, to warn you against it, because the global rollout has stopped because of the massive server issues that Niantic were facing. They seem to have stabilized somewhat. The last day and a half or so, I've had far fewer server crashes for a start, so maybe they're starting to get on the right foot. But anyway, because the rollout has stopped again, the demand for this game is skyrocketing again in places where you can't properly, legitimately get it at the moment, which means people are still out there downloading these APKs from unknown sources and sideloading them and whatnot. Don't do it. Unless, of course, you're perfectly happy with a hacker taking complete control over your device. The second reason I wanted to make this video is so I could say, I told you so. I got a lot of hate on that video from Android users who just cannot take a joke. And I got a lot of people, saying, oh, you can't steal free software. And I got a lot of people saying, well, sideloading the APK is no different from downloading it from the store. It's exactly the same file. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly legitimate. It's no problem at all. Android lets you do it for a reason. Sideloading the APKs is perfectly legitimate, perfectly okay. Well, it's not. As evidenced by the fact there are now who knows how many Pokemon GO players out there with malware-infested phones that don't even know about it. So when you come down to it, game pirates are, 50% scumbags, 50% gormless idiots. And for your own sake, if not for a hardworking developer's sake, don't pirate software.